Thank God for this. This was really the key to the whole thing. This is Pat Patterson's other book. I have his book, Writing Better Lyrics, right there. Author of Writing Better Lyrics. This is another book of his. He's a professor of lyric and poetry, creative writing at Berklee College of Music. Successful lyric writing. Author of The Craft of Lyric Writing, which I also bought. This is a pretty big book as well. Here's another book by Pat Patterson. And here's another Pat Patterson book. This one about rhyming. I don't agree with like everything Pat Patterson says. Set beliefs where he just prefers a thing. And it's like this with a lot of instructors of the arts. You know, it sort of reminds me of Stephen King's book On Writing. That book absolutely changed my life. It totally changed the way I write. Totally changed the way I looked at writing. Is what ultimately led to me developing my own style. Like fiction writing. It was the first thing I ever studied the craft of. Like there are a lot of artistic things that I like to do. Writing was the first one that I actually realized what craft meant and that you can study the craft of writing. First read On Writing when I was maybe 14. At that time I still had this more like romantic notion that art is art and there's no way to teach that and blah blah blah. It was the first time in my life where I went, oh, craft actually is something. Now I mean that's a whole debate you can have, craft versus artistry versus creativity, blah blah blah. Yes, but there's always so much benefit to learning the craft of something as opposed to just kind of doing trial and error or just sort of stabbing in the dark. And writing is the first thing that I ever really did that with. And writing is the only thing, especially now, that I feel like, not because I'm so much more creative and I have such a bigger brain than everyone, but just because I feel confident in my writing skills because I studied the craft of writing and took the lessons I learned to heart and changed the way I wrote. Where at this point I feel confident in my ability as a writer. On Writing blew me away. It just blew my mind. It changed everything. I went back and reread it a few years later, now that I had taken all the lessons to heart and had developed my own style and my own voice. And I just 90% of it I disagreed with because 90% of it was really just his personal tastes. Don't write G-O-N-N-A, write going to. Why? That's just something you prefer personally. I write G-O-N-N-A. I'm gonna go to the store. I'm G-O-N-N-A, gonna go to the store. That's how I write it, because that's how you say it. That's not craft, that's just personal preference. He just doesn't like that. Or like a gerund, but you're dropping the G. Don't put an N, I-N, and then an apostrophe. Why not? That's how I've always done it. That's how you do it. And there you go. So that's how I do it. I don't listen to his sort of personal preferences. And you just find that a lot when someone's teaching craft, you find their personal preferences come out like that. And it's the same with Pat Patterson in Writing Better Lyrics. He talks about, oh, whenever you're writing a song that just uses like an ABA, sort of like standard pop song structure, don't change the lyrics to the chorus every time. Well, why not? I mean, I will sometimes I won't. He is so dead set against, as if that's like a sign of bad writing or something. It's like, oh, the point of the song is that the verses change the perspective of the chorus every time. I'm like, okay. But, I mean, that's not just how you write a song. That's how you write, that's a way to write lyrics. That's a way to write a set of lyrics for a song. That's a structure. But, I mean, it's not the only one. First of all, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. You know, it's my song. And second of all, that's just a personal preference. You just like that. You know, you happen to like that. Well, so what? I'm not you, you know? But anyway, one's still on the way.